MTN is Africa's biggest cellular network operator, operating in 21 countries across the region, including big businesses in South Africa, Nigeria and Ghana. It has over 176 million customers. MTN has a market cap of 284 billion rand, a price-to-earnings ratio of 13.3 and a dividend yield of 5.3%. Paul, what do you make of these? What do you make of MTN? They've just released their subscriber numbers.
And it's actually higher now. I think it's about 186 million customers. Now, look, this is a stock that's been the cornerstone of our investment portfolios for the last decade. We bought them first when they were still called MCell, and they traded at 12 Rand a share. Now they're at 160. So that's been great. It's had a bit of a bumpy ride. They've, shot up to quite a high level, around 165 back in 2007, 2008, when they were talking to some Indian companies. Then it really went off the boil quite badly. That fell apart. They did these deals to acquire, obviously, licenses in Nigeria. They then bought Investcom, which got them into Ghana and Syria and a lot of other places, and then Iran. And I think really the Iranian situation remains the kind of tricky issue for this company because, obviously Iran is currently busy going down the tubes.
Indeed. When you look at Iran, Viv, what do you make of MTN?
Look, I think it is a risk, of course. I mean, if you look at some of the statements from the presidential candidates for the US, they aren't just going over companies that do business in Iran, they're going up to companies that do business with companies that do business in Iran. And that could be a negative for MTN because remember, with technology, a lot of it comes from Europe, comes from America, and people don't want to be selling to a company that's going to sell on their technology to the Iranians. There's issues with regards to, are they surveilling their citizens? Is there going to be some kind of issue like that down the line? But that being said, MTN has businesses also in Africa. You're doing reasonably well in South Africa as well. And so it's not just the Iranian story, but the Iranian story is a risk that one must consider when looking at the stock.
So, Paul, would you be getting in right now at these levels?
It's rallied up to these present levels, notwithstanding all of the Iranian news. So when I say Iran's going down the tubes, the sanctions are tightening against Iran, and the currency has basically gone belly up. So the Iranian currency, the rial, is now sort of skyrocketed like the Zimbabwean dollar did back in 05, 06. What to make of it? Well, I'm not sure. In other words, the share price is rallying on other issues. And it's rallying because worldwide, the opportunity for these network companies to make more money than previously expected because of 4G LTE is really what's driving it. So Verizon is trading at an all-time high. AT&T is trading at an all-time high, so is Vodafone, so is Telefonica, so is everyone. I might be generalizing slightly. I mean, the reason is because people are suddenly waking up to what Viv said, is data plans and all of that stuff, iPhone 5s. People spend their entire lives on these devices and they're happy to pay, incrementally more dollars or rands or whatever it is per month to be online, to be accessing their information. We know that there's this digital convergence, so your entertainment is going to stream through that link. So, I think that's what's driving it. The Iranian situation, in my mind, it's a bit like Zimplats with Impala, is that just as bad as Iran gets, people sort of factor in that less and less and less, which is crazy because it's got like 40 million customers or something up there. I don't know. Maybe Iran can pull a bunny out of the hat and kind of fall in with the world's expectations of itself. I don't know.
So let's find out from you, Viv. Would you be getting in at these levels right now for MTN?
I think the Zimplats situation is not quite what MTN is like because if Zimplats blows up tomorrow, Impala Platinum will still operate in South Africa. However, Iran blows up, there is implications to the other operations that MTN has as well, just because of the risk in terms of technology transfer, etc., that we may see from sanctions against Iran. So I think that's separate. But that being said, it's a very strong company, knows how to do business in parts of the world like Nigeria, etc., that other companies have not been able to do so as successfully. Look at Vodacom later on. It's not been as successful in Africa. And therefore, I do think there is a knowledge base in MTN that allows you to do business in a part of the world that will be growing very fast and will be adopting these technologies to a large extent. So I think there is a lot of upside for the company.
So hot or not, Paul?
Yeah, I am. I mean, I'm hot on it here in South Africa. I'm hot on it in Nigeria and Ghana and all those other countries. In Nigeria, which is set to be one of the world's most populous nations, they have the best data network. They have the best market position. They've got, revenue margins up there of northwards of 50, 60%. So really, it's a fantastic business. And I think it's going to go from strength to strength. And, in years to come, they're going to have much bigger customer base and much, much bigger revenues. So I'm happy to stay invested in this one, to accumulate it at current levels. And I'm being slightly offhand about the Iranian situation. I do actually think that at some point in Iran you'll see some sort of softening or regime change. Because this kind of regional tensions, threatening to chase the Israelis into the sea, wanting to cut yourself off from the rest of the world, build nuclear bombs, it's not going to work well for a young population in Iran. They need to change their ways up there.
So hot.
Hot for me.
Viv, hot or not?
I also agree, and I also think that if you look at just where its growth is in Africa. Africa is going to grow faster than almost anywhere else in the world except for some parts of Asia. We have growing populations, growing adoption of the technology, and growing needs for the technology as well. So I do think that the future is very bright for MTN, so I'm hot on it.
So 2 hots on MTN.